16 minutes past 8 is the time. Last summer saw outbreaks of violence in towns and cities around England following the death of 3 little girls who were killed at a dance class in Southport.
In Liverpool, a community library was severely damaged when it was set on fire. Now, after a national fundraising campaign, Spellow Library is officially reopening today. Our reporter Jane McCubbin is there. Morning to you, Jane. So you're indoors now, and it's quite hard to reconcile the pictures that lots of people will remember of that place from the outside in the street with what they can see in front of you today.
Exactly. All shiny and new today, Charlie. Good morning, everybody. People might remember that shot of the window that was caved in on the night of the riots. Flames were lit in the corner there, and the place was ablaze as rioters looted and caused chaos outside. This wasn't just a library. If you needed CV advice, you'd come here. If you needed help filling out a form, you'd come here. Advice on council matters, you'd come here. It mattered. But after that night of darkness, something really magical happened. The Queen got involved with it. This is known as the Queen Camilla bookshelf because everything here was donated by her. Celebrities got involved with it. People cared all over the country what happened at this place. So many people got involved. Some of them are here with us today. We're going to say hello to them in a bit. Hello, everybody. Good morning again. But first, I want to show you this film about the drama of what unfolded that night and the joy that happened next.
Late on August the 3rd, a community in Liverpool came under attack.
So we could see the police drone footage, speaking to my firefighters who were on the appliances, saying to them, look, you're going to have to put your windows up, put your helmets on, put your visors down, you are going to come under attack now.
Police were trying to disperse the rioters. Until they had, firefighters couldn't reach Spellow Hub, not just a library. Opened just over a year earlier, it had become the new heart of this community and the target of arsonists during that night of violence.
I was contacted by a colleague who said, are you awake? So I rang this person right away. I said, have they broken the windows? He said, no, it's on fire. Well, my heart absolutely sank. Why a library? We were changing people's lives.
A burning barricade had been created by rioters.
Liverpool do the best riots.
It was being used to hold back emergency services.
People who were throwing bricks at them, throwing bottles at them, throwing fireworks at them.
What's the flame? What's the flame?
That's when I was speaking to my police colleagues saying, you need to go now, you need to break through that barricade.
Hey, they're coming up, they're coming up. Stay all go, watch it.
You know, I'm from Liverpool myself. My dad was a firefighter, I was a firefighter, my granddad's a firefighter. We're always here for our communities. This is probably the first time I'd really experienced what I'd probably define as hatred.
It was the only real community asset in this area. So to have one of them destroyed like that was sort of mindless, really.
But out of the darkness came the light. Last night, the community came together to see the Spellow Hub reopen, all possible thanks to the goodness of people.
You see the community reaching out. You see the families knocking on the glass saying, is everything okay? How are you? I'm so sorry it's happened.
The lovely young girl who fundraised for it absolutely knocked me out.
Alex McCormick had set up a GoFundMe page to try and raise £500 to replace burnt books.
And it just kept creeping up and creeping up.
It went up to £250,000.
Yeah, £250,000 it's come to in the end, which is just spectacular, isn't it?
Last night, Alex was there to see Spellow rise from the ashes.
None of this would have happened without all of the people who donated, shared, liked, commented, donated books. And I think the final number of people who donated money alone, excluding the books, was 11,500 people. That is so many good people. There wasn't 11,500 people on Country Road that night, but there was 11,500 people who decided to do something positive about it.
So today, Spellow Hub goes back to the hard work of helping its community.
It just made me so sad. Me and my sister were just devastated. The library hadn't done anything to anybody.
I just asked myself in my head, why would that happen?
Hopefully we've learned to have a conversation next time before it escalates to that level of destruction.
Their anger isn't the force of change that we want, it's the positivity that we want.
I love that. It is the positivity that we want, isn't it, Alex? Come and meet everybody. This is Frank Cottrell-Boyce.
Hi.
I don't need to introduce you, Children's Laureate. You're going to do a special poem for us in a minute, but it just seemed like madness that night, didn't it?
Yeah.
Why did it touch everybody's hearts in this way?
I think there's just something very dark about burning a library, isn't there? This is the repository of knowledge and goodwill, and it's a safe space that people come to when it's raining, when the kids are getting too much, when you need advice. So it's the heart of a community, and it was a blow to the heart.
But the joy that followed,
wow. Yeah, well, I completely lost faith. I was like, oh, everything's terrible. And then Alex started that campaign, and suddenly you remember that actually this is a good place, and these are good people, really good people, and we are better than that.
Absolutely. Sometimes, Adam said before, sometimes you need the rain clouds. Sometimes you need the rain clouds to see the silver lining, don't
As
you?
Dolly Parton said, there's no rainbows without rain.
I love that. I love that. We'll come back to you in a minute. Let me introduce Alex now. You hate me saying this, the woman of the moment, because you said it's not about you.
No, it isn't, because it's about everyone who came together to donate and to rally around this space. 11,500 people donated money and hundreds more donated books. So every single person involved in that deserves all of the credit.
People cared, didn't they? It was mad. It's like a day or two after the riots, I came down and met you. You were being bombarded by international journalists because this was front page news around the world. There were countries that were telling their tourists not to go to England because it wasn't safe. You were there and you were in the middle of this campaign that just took off. How did it take off?
I think that everyone just felt impacted by the fact that it was a library that had been burnt, and I think that everyone's got a connection to a good story, a book that they love, so there wasn't anyone who didn't feel the emotion that we all felt seeing this space. And obviously we had a few people who helped it, move along a little bit.
It started with who?
It started with Nigella. Nigella Lawson was the first kind of celebrity to donate, and then it spiralled from there.
I've got to tell you, so on the day I interviewed Alex at the start of the campaign, along with all the international journalists, she finished at the end, she said, I've got to go now anyway, I'm getting married tomorrow. You were in the middle of this crazy chaos of you getting married, and then you were on your honeymoon when you got a call that said what?
Yeah, so on my way back from our honeymoon, a phone call to say that the Queen, that Camilla, had donated books from her personal collection, which I think at that point I didn't think it could get any more crazy than it was, and then it just got a little bit more crazy, just absolutely, insane, that it's on her radar as well.
Thank you for everything you've done. Well, thank you to everybody else who got involved with this. Come and meet some of the kids. Chloe, now I know you were in a church just around the corner in the night of the riots, weren't you?
Yeah.
What were you doing?
Playing bingo.
But it was scary, wasn't it, girls?
Yeah.
How did you feel?
I felt like I wasn't safe and like they were going to come down and like I just didn't feel safe.
You had to lock the church doors, didn't you?
We had to shut the doors.
Yeah. I mean, you felt scared as well.
No, we was watching on like live and things like that. It was so scary. We had like friends and just like people we know moving away from it because of it. Like they were saying it's for the kids, and what was happened was for the kids, but then they were destroying places such as the library, which the kids love to use.
It didn't make any sense. Thanks everybody for coming down this morning. Very quickly, you'll have seen the pictures from last night. The star of the show leading the parade was Pearl. Pearl, how does it feel to have this place back open?
It feels very exciting.
Yeah. You came to Liverpool from Nigeria, didn't you, a few years back? What was the welcome like when you came here, and what's your school like?
It was very exciting. Everyone was very welcoming. Yeah.
You're happy to be involved last night, weren't you? Thank you for coming down, everybody. Right, are we ready to hear Frank? Do you want to take it away, Frank?
Okay, so when I visited the library before, I met this wonderful choir, and I asked them a question, and their answer was really inspiring. They don't know anything about this, but I asked them, when it's reopened, would you like to change the name? And I had some suggestions. I said, how about S for Spellbinder? there's magic in that name. Or P for Phoenix, because it rose out of the flame. Or E for Enchanting, with its tales of near and far. Or L for, you know, Library, because that is what you are. Or double L for Lovely Library, because that's a more accurate description of what you are. Or O for Oh, it's W, wonderful to see you whole again. So what's it to be? S-P-E-L-L-O? No, 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 you all said. No, no, no. This was Spellow before. This is Spellow still. No lies or fire can dim our light. We are a beacon on the hill.
That was so lovely. I'm all emotional, and that is a perfect way to end. Adam, the imam, told me something before. He said, did you know that in Arabic, the word for love is hub? So Spellow hub is perfect.
And in Anglo-Saxon, Spellow is story.
It's meant to be, written in the stars. Spellow is back. Back to you in the studio.
Love and story, absolutely perfect words. Thanks, Jane.
There's a lot to like about that story, isn't there? The whole thing. The whole thing. Very warming.